Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name's Dave, and this is episode 1903A, and today's date is June 28th, 2019, and the title of the episode is Economic Messages Deciphered, Their Plans Stopped, New Economy Readied. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we know that Trump and the Patriots, they are in the process of creating a new economic system. And this is not easy to do in such a short period of time. Remember, the deep state, the central banks, they've had many, many years to create what we've been living in. Trump and the Patriots have to undo all of this in a short period of time because we are at the end stage of this central bank economic system. And Trump has been making these trade deals all over the country and working very, very quickly to do this. He's also been sending us messages, letting us know where the deep state, the central bank, wanted to bring us. And if they get elected and if they succeed, that's the path we're going to go down. If Trump stays in office and the Patriots stay in office, we're going to go down a different path. And he's been telling us the entire story through his tweets. He's been sending the people messages. He just doesn't tweet out nonsense. He's doing this for a specific purpose, to let us know and to make us understand where we are going. Now, of course, he's not just going to come out and say, hey, by the way, I'm going to destroy the central bank. The deep state's going to be arrested and everything is going to be great. Because why would he give the plan out? It would make no sense. And this is why he is using Twitter. This is why Q is out there. They're putting out the messages so people understand what is happening. Now, think about what is happening around the world. The entire economic system, the global economic system, which was created by the central banks, it is completely collapsing under their debt weight. Now, think about this. They've been adding more and more debt to the entire world. And of course, they blame this on all the countries. Well, it's the country's fault. They've been adding debt. They can't balance their budgets. Well, think about it. When they create the first dollar or the first euro and they loan it to a country, how do they pay back the interest? All the other currency doesn't exist yet. It's impossible. So if I borrowed a dollar or a euro and now I owe, say, $1.10 because I owe interest back, where do I get the 10 cents? Can't be found, so you have to borrow more. Now, this is the central bank. This is their system. We've been taught over the many, many years to think that this is normal. This is not normal. This is their system. And they created it to control all the countries, to create what we see today, where we have corruption, where we have the deep state, where they wanted a one world, one currency government. This is what they've been striving for. Now, today, it is completely falling apart. And they understand this. And we're seeing it all over the place. I mean, look at Italy. Look at Australia. Look at the UK. Look at France. Look at Germany. They're panicking right now. Christine Lagarde in the IMF is panicking right now. The central bank system, the establishment, they're looking at the situation and saying, okay, we are veered off from what we wanted to do. And you can see it everywhere. You can see how the central bank system cannot operate under these conditions because it was never meant to. It was never meant to go this far. And soon, what's going to happen is they will be completely exposed to everything. Right now, they're hiding behind tariffs. They're hiding behind trade. They're hiding behind countries. Soon, this will all disappear, and they will be standing front and center. But in the meantime, the entire economic system is falling apart. Ford, they're going to be cutting 12,000 jobs in Europe by the end of 2020. Now, think about it. They put all these regulations forth about build low-emission cars. You know, we need to go green. We need to do this. And a lot of it's still impossible to do. It's not cost-effective. But they put all of these regulations forward, and it's hurting the automobile industry. and they need to reduce their staff because they're not profitable anymore. All these corporations, they're not going to be profitable in a failing central bank system. The only thing that's making it look like they are profitable is the illusion that the central bank has made the economy look great. What did they do? They brought rates almost down to zero. Actually, in Europe, it's in negative territory. And they created stimulus. If you take that away, if you take all of that away and just let the economy do what it was supposed to do, everything would have failed. Now, Trump, he understands this. The patriots, they understand this. They realize that if they don't cut the rates, if they don't start stimulus, the whole thing starts to fall apart. Now, since the rates have been locked down and they weren't allowed to rise anymore, we see that pending home sales right now, they have risen to 1.1% in May, indicating Americans may be responding to declining mortgage rates. Now, think about this. When the Fed cuts their rates by the middle to end of this summer, home sales, they're going to start to move up because the mortgage rates are going to drop. It's going to bring more and more people into the market. Same thing with everything else, and it's going to help corporations stay profitable because most of them would fail right now. Now, Trump is in Japan, and he's meeting with many leaders, talking trade, tariffs, busy creating the new economy for the people. And Trump tweeted out the following: I look forward to speaking with Prime Minister Modi about the fact that India, for years, having put very high tariffs against the United States, just recently increased the tariffs even further. This is unacceptable, and the tariffs must be withdrawn. Now, you have to remember, Trump is out in the G20, out in Japan, I should say, at the G20, and he's speaking with all of these leaders, letting them know that he's about to even the playing field on trade. And again, most likely, he'll be making some type of deal with Xi Jinping. Everything has been set for this. Actually, Moon Jae-in, which we'll be getting to in a little bit on the next report, he's already saying that North Korea and South Korea and China and the U.S. were primed to have denuclearization. And remember, Trump is going to visit Moon Jae-in in South Korea after the G20. Everything has been set so this deal between China and Trump goes through, which means, once again, the central bank is going to be completely exposed. Now, as time goes on, Trump's messages will become clearer and clearer in regards to the Fed, what he wants to do with the economy, and how he'll be taking down the central bank establishment. He is again telling a story with his tweets, sending messages to everyone, letting them know what the deep state and the central bank had planned for the U.S., and also sharing what the main problem is, which of course is the central bank. Trump tweeted out the following: the stock market went up massively from the day after I won the election, all the way up to the day that I took office because of the enthusiasm for the fact that I was going to be president. That big stock market increase must be credited to me. If Hillary won, a big crash. Has everyone ever wondered why Trump continually comes out and he says, listen, if Hillary won, the market would have crashed. If I don't get elected in 2020, the market's going to crash. He's actually sending a message to everyone, letting them know this is the plan of the deep state. Remember, if we go back to Q's post, where Q said, we know the plan of the central bank. We know they were going to raise rates throughout 2019 into the early part of 2020 and have the entire system fall apart. So their candidate would win and Trump would lose. Trump is continually telling us that if the patriots are not in office, if the patriots are not in control, the deep state, the central bank, their plan was to crash the market. Their plan was to have a financial catastrophe. The plan was to wipe out the wealth of the American people. Now, of course, when you have an economic crash and you have it in Europe, they would be able to start some type of an event or war, which then they would blame on Russia or another country. Trump is continually letting us know that if we are not in control, this is going to happen. With his other tweets, he told us, listen, debt is the biggest problem that we have. When the country had no debt, no central bank, we prospered. Why do you think he's contradicting the Fed all the time? Why do you think he's pointing the finger? Why do you think he's sending these messages out? Because this is not about, just letting him win in 2020. This is about the country. This is about the world. This is about all the people around the world. If we don't do this here and now, the central bankers will completely be in control of everything. We are at a point right now where it is completely critical that the patriots are in control. Now, as far as we can see, everything is changing. When we look at all these different countries, the UK, Australia, Italy, France, Germany, the EU, what do you see? You see change. You see the people waking up. It's like a wave that is crashing through all the countries. Started in the US with Trump, with Q. Q spread around the world. People know who Q is. And it started with those individuals speaking out. And it spread to other people. And it's continually spreading. And this is the movement. This is what's going to expose the central bank. This is what's going to expose all of this. This is why Trump and the Patriots are working so quickly, so fast, to get a new economic system prepared for the people. Because they know they can only keep this system going for a short period of time. Yes, the market can go up. Yes, the statistical numbers can look great. But what's going to happen over time, which we've already seen, is wages are going to continually decline. The people's economy is going to continually decline. And I'm talking about the central bank system. Trump knows, and the Patriots know, they only have this period of time, this window, to expose the central bank, prepare a new economic system, which is backed by sound money, and they need to transition us from a failing central bank system. The central bankers did this to the American people and the world back in 1971. And of course they used, gold speculators. Nixon took us off the gold standard. We already made a switch from a sound money system, even though the central bankers were in charge, but they never wanted gold to be there. They wanted to have the ability to create as much currency as possible. So we had two economies back then, a sound money economy, which we were on, and their new one that they were creating. Now it's the opposite. And Trump, he needs to work very, very quickly at this, because it's not just like, we can transition into this and everything will be fine, because he has to redo everything that the central bankers, the deep state, has already done. He has to reset all the trade deals. He has to reset everything that we're seeing, regulations, bringing manufacturers back, deregulating for companies to allow them to come back, giving them tax incentives. All of this is for a specific reason. And Trump, he's been sending us messages all the way through this entire plan, letting us know, listen, if this happens, this is going to happen. You're going to end up in a financial catastrophe. If I win, we're going to be heading down a completely different path, and we're going to see good times ahead of us. So he's letting us know what's bad about the economy, who is responsible, because he wants us all to understand what is about to happen. His message will become clearer and clearer as we move past 2020, but he's already started the process, and he's going to keep this up as we move forward, especially once the swamp is drained. You're going to see things really kick into high gear. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.